Now call to order the February 3rd, 2026 meeting of the Newton County Board of Commissioners. I'll ask Commissioner Mason if you would have our invocation, and Commissioner Edwards if you'd lead us in the pledge, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Let us all bow our heads. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for bringing us back to this place of business one more time. God, we thank you for the leaders that are sitting at this dais. God, we ask that you give us the wisdom, knowledge, and the understanding to make the best decisions possible for this amazing community. God, we even ask that you bless all over 100,000 plus, 125,000 plus of our residents of this community. God, bless them in every area of their lives, God, and allow us to make the decisions that will be the best to enhance the quality of their lives. We thank you for all that you've done for our community and all that you are about to do for our community. And we give you all the kingdom, honor, and the glory. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before I ask for a motion to adopt the agenda, we have two recommended amendments to the consent agenda. The ratification of two grants renewals from the Sheriff's Department, and that'll be number 4 and number 5 under the consent agenda. Number 4, Sheriff's Office request to renew HEAT grant. Number 5 is Sheriff's Office request to renew GOHS-TEN grant. Could I have a motion to amend our agenda?
So moved.
Second? All in favor? Okay, thank you. Now with that amendment, we need a motion to adopt our tonight's agenda.
So moved.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, thank you. At this time, we'll have public comments. This time is to allow the public to comment or voice their concerns or opinions regarding the agenda topics only. Each person would have 3 minutes to speak. So if you have anything on the agenda topics, please.
Dennis Taylor, District 1, District 5. Agenda items 10 through, I don't know how far to go, the fire service. Madam Chairman, I'd like to silently applaud our fire chief for going after grants. Grants is what relieves the pressure off property tax and small business. And I've been here time and time, and he's going after these grants. These grants help him get his people what they need to work with. And it helps us as citizens of Newton County for them to protect us safely. If you hadn't ever donned a Scott Air Pack or a fire suit and gone in a smoke-filled room, you ought to do it sometime. It takes a lot to be a fireman. I did it as a captain of just a plant fire brigade and a site manager for chemical spills and such as that. Tremendous training. You had to maintain the training. You had to know chemicals, what you can spray on what. It takes a lot of money. And I'm glad to see him going after this equipment to help those people out. I worked a long time. I never had a lost time accident on employees working for me as a manager. I never had to go knock on a door and tell a loved one that their loved one got hurt working for me. You do that by safety procedures. I enforced them. I went to bat for my people and got what they needed to work with. I wrote my own JSA, job safety analysis. I made sure that we could operate the job safely. And that's what you get when you do it. It's money well spent. I'm a conservative. I hate to see taxes raised. But this is money you have to spend. It's money that you get rewards back for. And all these grants can help lower property taxes and not raise them. So thank you, Mr. Fire Chief, for going after these grants. I know you people appreciate it, and the citizens of Newton County should appreciate everybody going after these grants, because we don't have so much money, and there's a bunch of money out there to be got. Thank you.
Okay, if we have no one else on the public comments, we'll go down to the chairman's report. I hope everyone stayed safe and warm during all the bad weather. And we sure appreciate all of our employees that work tirelessly to help keep all our citizens safe and warm. They really worked both weekends to try to see that everybody was going to be safe out on our roadways and safe in every way possible. And now our county manager, I think, has a report.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Commissioners. I would just like to echo what Madam Chair just indicated. It was a pleasure to be at the EOC with the staff and see the inner workings, how the communication continued to evolve during the weather events, not only with departmental staff, with the cities, other agencies, how they all came together and communicated very well to keep the citizens of Newton County safe during that time frame. So I would just like to say thank you to those individuals. Thank you.
Thank you. Now I entertain a motion for the consent. Oh, I'm sorry.
I had a question. I think I'm trying to find where we're at. Have we did the audit yet, County Manager?
Are you referring to the fire audit?
No, the
Oh,
audit.
the audit, the budget?
End of the year, yeah.
Yes, we have. It's been completed.
Okay, so how much money was kind of moved over?
I'd have to get with Brittany and get you that number. I don't have it in front of me today, but I can get it to you, get with her and get you that number as soon as possible.
And I appreciate it. And I just want to end with this. Thank you, Jane, for your service during the cold days, out in the cold and out in the snow, and our staff, which I thank myself personally so highly of. And just thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. Second? Okay, all in favor? All right, that's unanimous. Now we'll go to the new business. We have several presentations and they'll be handled by our county manager. Item number 8, consideration of Newton County Adult Felony Drug Court to apply for FY27 accountability grant through the Council of Accountability Court Judges. This is time sensitive. It's a reimbursement grant, funds to be released July 1, 2026 if awarded. There would be a 15% match required. Do I have a motion? Second? Okay, all in favor? Okay, that passed. Thank you. Item number 9, consideration of fire services to purchase a heavy rescue apparatus and required equipment from Supfin Corporation. Cost $1,341,538. Apparatus $500,000. That's equipment. The total cost is $1,841,538. The funding source is Capital Fund match. There's no match required. Due to the cost, this is the final of the 2 required requests. Do I have a motion? Second? All in favor? That's unanimous. Thank you. Item number 10, consideration of fire services apply for home fire sprinkler coalition grant cost budgeted, no match. Do I have a motion on that?
So moved.
All in favor? Okay, thank you, that passed. Item 11, consideration of fire services to apply for Congressional Directed Spending Program grant to purchase medical equipment to advance the level of care fire services can provide. The amount of funds to be appropriated via directed spending is limited and the process is competitive. If awarded, grant amount is to be determined. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second? All in favor? Thank you. That motion passed. Item number 12, consideration for fire services to apply for assistance to firefighters grant to purchase Lucas CPR devices for every unit in addition with other medical equipment. Proposed grant amount, $500,000. Funding source would need to be included in the FY27 budget. There is a 10% match required if grant is awarded. Do we have a motion? Second? All in favor? Okay, thank you. That was unanimous. Item 13, consideration for fire services to apply for Firehouse Subs grant to purchase 2 Lucas CPR devices. Grant amount is $40,000 budgeted. There's no match required. Do we have a motion? Second? All in favor? Okay, thank you. It's unanimous. Item 14, consideration of fire services to apply for Walmart Community Grant to purchase materials to build a 3rd life jacket loaner station. Grant amount would be $5,000 budgeted and there's no match required. Do we have a motion? Second? All in favor? Thank you. That passed unanimously. Item 15, consideration of fire services to apply for the FEMA Fire Prevention and Safety Grant to purchase a fire safety trailer for fire safety education. The grant amount is $180,000 budgeted FY26 general fund. There's a 5% match required and the cost would be $9,000. So do we have a motion on that? Second? All in favor? Okay, thank you. Item 16, consideration of Newton County Resource Court to apply for FY27 State Accountability Court operating grant funded through the Council of Accountability Court Judges and Criminal Justice Coordinating Council. This is time sensitive. The cost is reimbursement grant. Funds to be released July 1st, 2026 if awarded. There would be a 15% match required. Do we have a motion on that? Second? Okay, all in favor? You have a question, okay. They're going to apply for the grant. Let's see, did you? The amount has not been determined, but they will have to come back before you when the amount is determined and to tell you the amount and then the 15% of whatever the amount is. To apply. Okay. So Oh, I'm sorry,
That's all right.
Commissioner Long.
So my question is all of the other grants that we have been approving tonight were for the next year's budget, and this one looks like it's going to be awarded. So is the 15%, it says it is not budgeted, but I'm assuming that this means that we don't have the money for this one. Because it says it's going to be funded on July 1 of 2026, so are they putting it in their new budget? Okay, so maybe we need to put some conditions on this approval, just to be more explanatory. Just say that, you know, maybe amend the motion on this one.
Okay, would you like to amend it? Excuse me, you have a question?
I would like to just give some insight. This is a reoccurring grant that they typically get over the years, so it's pretty much going to follow in how they've typically done on the several previous years, to where the dollar match is still the same. So it more than likely be this exact same as it was this calendar year. This fiscal year.
Is it okay for us to add language?
This is the grant for July 1st.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Either way, they have to come back before us to accept the grant, and
Right.
that would be when we say, okay, we're going to match the 15%.
That's right.
That we're just approving permission to ask for the grant tonight, and that's it.
That's all.
All right, thank you.
Mhm. Is that okay? Okay, so we have a motion, a second. Do we have a second? Okay, all in favor? Okay, thank you. Item number 17, consideration of memorandum of understanding between the University of Georgia Cooperative Extension and the Newton County Board of Commissioners to support all Newton County Extension personnel operationally, and that is time sensitive. Mr. Brown, would you?
Yeah. So this is a MOU from UGA Extension Office that we to, I guess, re-up every year. So this is just a contract extension for the extension services.
Okay. Do we have a motion? Second? All in favor? Okay, thank you. Item number 18, consideration to authorize the chairman to execute memorandum of agreement between Georgia Department of Transportation and Newton County Board of Commissioners for the contribution of $75,000 to the Henderson Mill Road Bridge Replacement Project, PI number 0020146- Henderson Mill Road at Bear Creek, 1 mile north of Jasper County line. The cost is $75,000. The funding source is the general fund. It is budgeted. There's no match required. Do we have a motion? Second? All in favor? Okay, that's unanimous. Thank you. Item 19, consideration to authorize the chairman to execute an agreement with Comanche Construction of Georgia, LLC, to complete the 2025 Bridge Maintenance and Repair Project, Phase 1. Cost would be $1,727,806.85. Funding source is a general fund. That would be $1 million. SPLOST 2023, $727,806.85. That is budgeted. There's no match required. Do we have a second? All in favor? Okay, thank you. Item 20, consideration of Santee Consulting Professional Service Contract, engineering service for water infrastructure improvements at William Street Water Treatment Plant. Cost pre-construction service, $1,962,653.99. Post-construction services, $1,767,000. $192.09. The funding source would be Georgia Environmental Finance Authority, and that is budgeted. Due to costs, this is one of two of the required requests. Do we have do we have a motion or question? Don't need it. Okay, this is just what, this is the first request. So we'll have another request on this. Item 20. Oh, you, okay, Commissioner Edwards.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I see this is William Street. I thought we were decommissioning William Street.
Yeah, this is the engineering services to, so we have to have engineers to design the deconstruction, the rehabilitation to City Pond, and this also is going to do the rehabilitation to the raw water pump station and diverting that water to Lake Warner.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, thank you. Item number 21, consideration of Reeves and Young contract for construction manager at Risk Services, William Street Water Treatment Plant Demolition Project. Cost pre-construction phase, $75,000. The funding source is GEFA, Georgia Environmental Finance Authority, and that is budgeted. Do we have a second? All in favor? Okay. Thank you. We have about 8 minutes before we go to our zonings. That has to be at 7:30. So we'll just take a few minutes break. If we can come to order now, and it's time for us to have our zoning hearing. So, Ms. Applewhite?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, members of the board. But our first petition this evening is an overlay tier change. It's OTC 25-0002. It's located at 620 Riverfield Lane, tax parcel 0043038. It is on 109.58 acres. The future land use map is Parks, Rec, and Conservation, as well as a development node. The current zoning is R2, single-family residential. The existing zoning, or the existing overlay, is the Almond Overlay Tier 1 residential. And today they are asking to go to the Almond Overlay Tier 2, which is non-residential mixed use. Watershed is Yellow River. This is in Commissioner District 4. The current owner is Zio Bingtang and Yuzian Mi and Hua Ting Zhang. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Our petition today is Jason Jones. And the intent is to change the property's tier to the Almond Overlay Tier 2 in order to obtain a conditional use permit for an agritourism special events facility. There's a brief history on this. Back in June of 2025, code enforcement received a complaint about ATV rentals in a shooting range and food and alcohol being served at the subject property. In August, staff met with the property's tenants to discuss the property's code violations and what uses were allowed and permitting requirements that were needed for a special events facility. In September, a community meeting was held at the property to discuss the proposed use. Most of the attendees were from the community in the adjacent neighborhood and lived off of Riverfield Lane, and they were in opposition to the proposal. And some of the concerns they had included loudness of the ATV tours, the potential of camping or petting zoos or trailers on the property, of course, alcohol, operating a business in a residential area, traffic signage, properties, covenants, the integrity of the neighborhood and peace, fireworks, ownership of the property and the business, hours of operation, the volume of customers and members, as well as vetting process for members and of weapons on the property. So in response to the citizens' concerns that were stated at the community meeting, the business owners explained the following, that the goal was to provide a peaceful retreat and offer the following services. So they looked at ATV tours, horse riding, archery, men's or women's retreat, fish workshops, gardening, walking trails, and the seasonal events such as the pumpkin patch and hay rides and so on. Camping and petting zoos would not be offered if not approved by the county. And in regards to the current ownership, the gentleman that owns the property, he doesn't live there, and the business owners are the tenants, and they do not have the title to the property at this time. So the proposed hours of operation would be from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Tuesday through Sunday. And the services offered would be membership-based, and members would be allowed to bring up to 4 guests, and they estimate a number of 62 members total. The vetting process for members or guests, the business owners will collect property contact information, proper contact information, government IDs, and conduct background checks, like a basic 5-year check. In January 2026, Planning Commission recommended approval of this petition, OTC 25-0002, by a vote of 4-1, and several attendees spoke in favor, excuse me, and opposition. So the Planning Commission board had questions. They inquired about the applicant's purpose, how the ATVs would be provided, if there were any concerts or after-hour activities, potential impact or concerns, tenant's lease, residence verification. They questioned about the code enforcement complaints, about the business operating before officially beginning or before having approval. They asked about alcohol or gun ranges that were mentioned and specific services that will be provided. And of course, the number of guests that they expected to have there and any other business ventures that the owner may have. And the applicant responded that they were not aware that the subject property was zoned R2 and thought it was agricultural land when they entered the lease with the property owner. Their goal is to provide a peaceful retreat for the community and change people's lives. And they're also hoping to partner with schools to provide events, activities, and resources for children. So they've been in business since 2011 in Griffin, Georgia. They offer a similar business in that location on a larger property and have never had more than 60 members or guests during events or activities. Only agro-tourism related events or activities will be provided. There will be no concerts, after-hour activities, corn mazes, alcohol, or gun ranges. The ATVs will be provided, but members and guests can bring their own for an additional cost. So they entered the lease with the property owner about 7 to 8 months ago, and it is good for 5 years. And in regards to the code complaints, those were in relation to family-hosted events. And they claimed those were private events. They anticipate to have no more than 60 members, and events and activities are appointment-based. So the property owner of the subject, he bought the property in 21, and he's about to retire, and also due to health problems, he is getting ready to sell it. And attendees in favor stated they had no issues with the business, the need for retreats, developing life skills, and agricultural education. And the business owners are good neighbors, and they empower families with jobs and responsibility. And there were 3 neighbors or property owners who live on Riverfield Lane that spoke in opposition. And they stated that the business is actively operating and puts out online advertisements without approval, concerns with traffic, trespassing, safety, noise, fireworks, and an existing easement. We did pull it up online, and it says scheduled locations, coming soon to Covington is how they have it advertised. And these are just more images from their website. This is in the character areas of established suburban core and conservation and recreation, which support both the appropriate land uses as well as the zonings. Current section of the ordinance is section 510-595 for special events facilities, indoor recreational facilities, commercial. This is included in your packet, so I won't read through all the requirements for this, but I will answer any questions. So onto the subject side. So it is located at the end of Riverfield Lane. It's along Riverfield Lane. It's a combination of properties which belong to the Newtonwood development. So this is the subdivision in front here, and Riverfield Lane, and the property is this large property at the end. It contains a house, barn, pavilion, garden, lake, and natural trails. There is a lot of wetlands, and the Yellow River runs along the northern, eastern, and southern boundaries of the property. So the Yellow River almost surrounds the property more or less. And the majority of the property is in a flood zone, so that would be the green and the blue areas in the lower image. So the plan shows the existing pavilion, and they have the key here, the red dots, and of course the correlating structures. So it is an existing pavilion. There's a main house, barn, cabin, and the private lake on the property. So north, where the house where the pavilion is, they're proposed to have parking spaces of 65 to 70 spaces. Further south of the house, they're proposing a community garden, which is the green here. So you have the pavilion up here in the gray, parking in red, the community garden in the green, and the proposed ATV and walking trail starts, this is the black broken line here, as you can see. So in the floodplain area, they're not able to expand further or build into there. That has to remain natural. They can have perhaps a natural walking trail, but they won't be able to do much development in the wetlands and the floodplain on this large back portion here. So in the letter of intent, the business is called Outdoor Escape, and they will offer agro-tourism, agricultural education, and outdoor recreation services. The proposed activities include agricultural production, fruit and herb harvesting, agricultural tours, which will be ATV and walking trails, seasonal events, fall hay rides, fruit picking festivals and community gatherings, educational workshops, gardening, composting, fishing, environmental stewardship, nature exploration, which will be hiking trails and guided walks, and outdoor recreation or outdoor retreats and private small group gatherings. The house will be used for women's wellness retreat and photo shoots. The house and pavilion area will be used for small business meetings and entrepreneurial workshops. The pavilion will also be used for retreats, educational and outdoor workshops, birthday or private events, so that's a special events part. Property grounds to be used for nature walks, foraging activities, wellness activities such as yoga and meditation, and community service programs. The cabin will be used for men's social recreational activities and for staff's personal use. And the barn will store equipment, workshop materials, and event resources. So these are pictures of the property. That's after when they were out there. So we have the pavilion they're describing. This is inside the pavilion below. And there's like a barn and a bonfire and a fire pit. And this is the current existing house, cabin, and the parking area, which they will have to, improve into gravel to make it parking. And of course, the lake at the bottom here. So the proposed tier change to the Almond Tier 2 non-residential mixed-use overlay, it will create a contiguous tier because the current subdivision that's there is already in the Almond Overlay Tier 2. It supports the proposed agritourism special events use of the conditional use permit. However, it should be noted that the majority of the property owners in the adjacent Newtonwood subdivision on Riverfield Lane are in opposition to the proposed use due to concerns for traffic, noise levels, guest attendance, and safety. The property is to the rear of the Newtonwood subdivision and access is on the only road through the subdivision. Recommended conditions. Should the petition be approved by the Board of Commissioners, it should be approved for an overlay tier change to Almond Tier 2 overlay conditional subject to the owner's agreement to the following enumerated conditions. Where these conditions conflict with the stipulations and offerings contained in the letter of intent, these conditions shall supersede unless specifically stipulated by the Board of Commissioners. 1. To the owner's agreement to abide by the following development standards. A. Maintain compliance with Division 450 of the Almond Overlay of the 2009 zoning ordinance. B. Provide a scaled site plan to development services based on the concept plan included with this report. C. Ingress and egress to be approved by the Newton County Transportation Department to include upgrading the driveway. D. Bring any unpermitted buildings that will be used for the special events facility into compliance by obtaining building permits. E. Limit the number of total occupants to the occupancy load as set by the Newton County Fire Marshal. F. Provide a sprinkler inspection to the Newton County Fire Marshal. The inspection must be approved prior to the release of a business license. Complete an annual fire inspection from Newton County Fire Services. G. Prior to the use of the business license, provide a copy of an approved inspection from the Fire Marshal to Development Services. H. Prior to any construction, addition, or removal of walls, the applicant must apply for all required permits. I, as applicable, obtain environmental health approval before the issuance of a business license. J. All outside events shall end at 10 p.m. This includes clean up and take down of the events per the applicant. K. Adequate parking shall be provided for guests in the areas shown on the concept plan. Security personnel will be provided at each event to direct traffic while vehicles are entering and exiting the property during events. Parking will be limited to the subject property only. Any outside reception shall be held at least 100 feet off of any property boundaries. Here's a survey of the property. So it's the last parcel at the end of the road. This is the aerial view. So Crowell Road is here. The high school is over here. And this is Riverfield Lane. And this is the 109 acres at the back. Current zoning is R2. This is the map that they're seeking to change today. So they're seeking to go to the green, which is Almond Tier 2 non-residential mixed use. And the subdivision adjacent to them is currently in that tier. And they're requesting today to go to that tier as well, from the Tier 1 that they're in. This is a future land use map. So they're in the development node, which is the pink area. And this is the only part that's really developable on this property. And the green is the Parks, Recs, and Conservation, which is the floodplain and wetlands. This is in Commissioner District 4, Yellow River Watershed. Oh, and if there are any questions for staff, if not, Madam Chair, this is a public hearing.
Public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak in favor? There will be 10 minutes total for anyone who wishes to speak in favor of this zoning.
Hello. Thank you for your time, first of all. I am a representative from the Outdoor Escape Experience, and I just want to tell you a little bit about us in addition to what Ms. Applewhite already told you. The Outdoor Escape Experience is an exclusive members-only location that provides community connection through play, release, and relaxation in a natural landscape. As mentioned, we are located in the back of the subdivision, and we do have a wraparound driveway that allows us to minimize traffic and not crowd the rest of Riverfield Lane. Our business is focused on expanding Newton County's tax base while keeping the rural feel the board has vowed to protect. Our business structure places near zero strain on the current county infrastructure. We have no needs for new road construction or heavy water usage or anything else additional provisions that the neighborhood that already utilizes. Our business structure aligns with Newton County's 2050 Comprehensive Plan for the Unified Development Ordinance, which aims for predictability and code consistency. Our request is one that ensures zoning and tier consistency. Every parcel in the subdivision is already zoned as non-residential mixed use, and our property is the outlier. In an effort toward reaching the UDO's goal of unified land use, we are seeking a tier change to harmonize with the rest of the community. Our business is rooted in ecotourism. We provide access to natural trails, archery, fishing, gardening, and other outdoor activities that people who otherwise wouldn't experience the outdoors in our way. We have always operated in a way that preserves the natural landscape around us. We firmly believe that our mission is what will be considered a preferred green development and would be a positive addition to the Newton County Land Conservation Plan by implementing economically productive use of our parcel. In closing, we are hoping to make this tier change represent a win-win situation for Newton County and our business. If granted, it aligns a lone parcel with its neighbors, it protects green space through ecotourism, and it grants a small business access to aid in the preservation of the neighborhood through a sustainable, low-impact business model. Thank you.
Okay.
My name is Dominic Luis. I am the.
Can you speak up just a little bit?
My name is Dominic Luis. I am the producer for Outdoor Experience, and honestly, my time there has always just been, really enjoyable. And for me, sorry, this is my first time here, so honestly, I really do think every time I really reflect on Outdoor Experience, it's always been a piece of peace, and I know that if any guys ever had the opportunity to be there, you guys would enjoy your time. But I know for me, it's always been, an enjoyable experience, especially walking down the trails. But to be honest, it just makes sense to align with the zoning of everybody else. But that's not my place. But I yield the floor. Really reconsider.
Thank you. This time we'll close the public hearing. For those in favor, we'll open the public hearing. For anyone who is opposed, there'll be 10 minutes total. So if there's anyone that wishes to speak in opposition, now would be the time.
Sorry. My husband and my in-law lives on 20 acres adjacent. Can you hear me?
Name.
Linda Strange. Okay, my husband owns the property on Riverfield Lane, which is not at the end, but 2 doors down, so to speak. There's 20-something acres there. Our concern is what has been said, as well as the traffic. You already have the high school. There's no, decel lane. Y'all have apartments going up right there. I mean, we have grandchildren that play out there. I mean, the property is already being used for a business, and they don't have a license. We've already had trespassing
you know, my concern is they're doing a business out there and it's a residential area. I mean, you already have apartments coming in, traffic, noise. We've already complained about that. And they've also said they've been in business since 2011, correct? Can I ask a question? It said on your presentation they've been in business since 2011 in Griffin? Okay, because they had someone speak at the last meeting how great it was, whatever. So I did an open records request. I got it back today. There's no such business in Griffin. They have, says they've served food and there's no license. Sorry, I don't speak in front of people, so I get a little nervous. But it's just a residential area. My mother-in-law's lived there 25 years. I mean, I understand small business, all for it. But you got the high school right there, kids, the safety, all of that is just, I don't understand how they don't own the property and we're allowed to let them change the property permit when they don't own the property. They're leasing the property. Or is that allowed? I mean, I don't know the law on that. I don't see how we can allow people who rent property to go in and change it, and then when they're gone, then they're gone. And we're the ones, fix our property values, all of that. So, you know, we do have a concern. We voiced it. We don't know what else to do other than we're trying to save the integrity, just as they're saying. It's a residential neighborhood.
Yeah, I'm Mike Strange, and like I said, we got the largest parcel out there. Me and Wayne Stokes. Wayne lives right beside me, and they come in here. They only been living there for 7 months, and come in there and go advertising as the largest ATV riding experience in Newton County, and this thing's been publicized. And the drinking, they don't have a liquor license, they don't have a food permit, they don't have a business license to operate this thing down there. And they was doing it in Griffin. My wife called and got verification through the open records that they had no business license to operate in Spalding County at all. So they've been doing this illegally the whole time. And, you know, the drinking, the firearms, and there's a school within, it's just right across the street from Riverfield Lane. Riverfield Lane don't have a decel lane. There's no, you know, there's elderly people that live over there. And, you know, it's just a bad situation because it's down at the dead end of the street. It's in where the cul-de-sac is. People live right beside where they're at. Where the cul-de-sac is, they only have 10 foot. And that's 10 foot to get into the place. There's one way in and one way out, and that's down Riverfield Lane. That's a public street, but you know it's not a good situation because you mix all those four-wheelers, alcohol, and you know, doing all that down there, shooting, somebody's gonna get hurt down there. And I'm sure that the property owner don't know all this is going on. And you know, if he does, and there's no way I would let nobody get on my property and have all that going on. I understand that they want to have a few more things on there, but these are main concerns for me as a property owner. And we've had this property for 26 years. And like I said, I got the largest tract down there, other than that tract at the end of the street. And it's all residential. There's no commercial in there. And these people got large tracts of land, got money invested, houses. I mean, you know, it's not a little bitty quarter-acre lots. I mean, we got quite a bit of land. So, you know, and a lot of that's floodplain down there, and it's not feasible to use. And these people coming in down there, you have no way of checking to see if they've criminals. At the last meeting, they stated that somebody had gotten out of prison. Somebody got up here and verified, said he got out of prison. They was down there, and it helped them tremendously. Well, you got a school right across the street. That's not a place for that to be going on, and those four-wheelers and drinking and stuff That's not a good place. That's all I got to say.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Dennis Taylor. I had no intention of speaking on it. I didn't know about this till I seen some of my property on the map up there off Sycamore Trail. Kind of wondering why I didn't get noticed. My concern with any property on the Yellow River in this county is water displacement. You start putting stuff on it and you don't absorb the water on that property, then you displace it on the other homeowners. A lady from the 3rd District was up here several months ago talking about how every time it rains, she's a brave lady, it happens all the time, how every time it rained, her property, her yard was underwater and her septic tank wouldn't flush. Y'all probably remember that one. And she's brave because she come in and spoke about it. But I don't know a lot of details on this. I can't speak a lot. Again, it's on the opposite side of the Yellow River from where I'm at. But if these people concerned, then I hope y'all listen to them. Thank you.
Okay, at this time, we'll close the public hearing. Ms. Applewhite? Do we have,
This is District 4.
do we have a motion?
Ready for the motion?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't.
Hey, it's all right.
Commissioner Henderson.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Ms. Applewhite, did y'all look at it? The petition, like normally, they go before the planning commission, and y'all would kind of take a look at it too as well.
If you look at the petition, sir?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay. And did y'all give a recommendation?
we did. And that was if the board chose to approve it. We have a list of recommendations that we made here.
Okay. Well, just let me say this. I got calls from all that vicinity. In fact, I was so concerned that myself, I called the office of sheriff and said, could you send somebody down there? Because they would tell them, they said, Commissioner Henderson said, hey, they're making so much noise down here. They're having parties and basically same stuff. And I believe that I'm a reasonable person, but it just, it just didn't go over well with me what was going on next door to those people who live there. I think Mr. Strange, I don't know how many times he called me. He called me several times. And I just want to say that I heard you. I heard exactly what you said. So, but just to kind of just cut it a little bit short, I'd like to make a motion that we don't approve this petition.
Okay.
Second.
Commissioner, did you have a comment? Oh, okay. So we've got. Okay. Motion carried. Okay, all in favor of this motion?
Just real quick on this, we've had a couple of these come before us before, and I just want to state that I am not in favor of businesses in residential areas. And the fact that they don't have a license and they've been doing it for 7 months, nobody knew about it, we're not inspecting food, we're having alcohol, all kinds of things. It's unfortunate, but you have to get all those things looked at before you start a business. You can't just start a business on a piece of land. And so I think that, certain areas require certain businesses and you've got to have everything done. I just checked the Secretary of State's website. I did not see the business registered on the Secretary of State's site either. There's just a lot of steps when you open a business. And, in residential areas, we've had many of these people come before us that are wanting to do these event centers, and they're around people's homes. So we have to find a place for these event centers and a purpose for them. So this is why I did a second to deny the motion.
Commissioner Mason.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I concur with my fellow colleagues. I think looking at where this is located, the place, and I didn't even see in the presentation where there were any type of buffer that was even set up to be a certain foot away from these homes. And so it sounds like from even what I'm hearing Commissioner Henderson saying is that there have been a lot of residents that are basically saying that it has been an issue with this particular business being there. And so I think Commissioner Henderson is doing the right thing. And so we just have to support him. Thank you.
Okay, so we have a motion to deny. We have a second. And so all in favor of that motion? Okay, thank you. Ms. Applewhite?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Our next petition this evening. This is a rezoning case, REZ 25-000010. The companion case, which was a flume, FLU 25-000004, was previously held and approved. This is located at 3400 and 3396 Highway 212. It will be on 2.689 acres total. The tax parcels are 0032037C and 0032037E. The future land use is commercial, which was approved by the board under the FLU 25-4. The existing zoning is neighborhood commercial and agricultural residential. The proposed zoning is highway commercial. Character areas emerging suburban. It's in the South River Watershed, District Commissioner 1. The owner is Georgia Petro Operations, LLC, and our petitioner is Ragupal Dimidi. The proposed use or intent is to rezone both properties to highway commercial in order to develop a convenience store with gas pumps and a restaurant. In May of last year, a minor plat was approved to subdivide 1 acre from 615 County Line Road to create 3396 Highway 212. In July of 2025, the Planning Commission meeting was canceled. It was then held in September, where the Planning Commission recommended approval of the companion case FLU 25-00004 by a vote of 4-0. And the purpose of that petition was to amend a future land use map only for 3396 Highway 212 from rural, residential to commercial. And there was no public opposition at that time. On 9/19/2025, the Board of Commissioners approved FLU 25-00004. January 27, the Planning Commission recommended approval of the rezoning petition, which is the one currently before you today, REZ 2510, by a vote of 5-0, and there was no public opposition at that meeting last week. So then the character areas are suburban, emerging suburban, supports commercial, and the appropriate zoning, highway commercial. The applicable sections are section 510-200 for convenience store and section 510-543 for restaurant. These are included in your packets. I won't read through them. The subject sites. So the subject sites are located at the intersection of County Line Road and Highway 212. There is an existing, was an existing art gallery or studio for custom framing called Hardscapes at the 3400 Highway 212. So this is the building we're looking at here, which is this parcel here. The adjacent property, 3396, which is the forested area here, is vacant and undeveloped. So it's this parcel with a second star. And that's this is the parcel they're looking to rezone so that they can have their septic system on that parcel. And then they're gonna combine the two. So the surrounding areas are made up of single family homes and undeveloped vacant land. So this is the existing parcel here. This is the one they need to add to put their septic system on. And this is just the ground view of it here. So they're proposing a 3,791 square foot C-store and an attached restaurant of 1,350 square feet. The parking areas will be the east and south sides of the building. Loading zone will be behind the building and fronts on County Line Road. 2 proposed gas canopies to the west and south of the building, and I will do a close-up of this in a second. The septic drain field and the detention pond are southeast of the building. And there are 3 existing entrances currently. You have 2 on Highway 212 and 1 on County Line Road. The proposed improved entrance on Highway 212 will need approval from GDOT. The adjacent property to the east is Zone AR, so the transitional buffer requirements will be adhered to. And the proposed septic drain field and detention pond are within the transitional buffer. The applicant has incorporated an 8-foot opaque fence along the eastern boundary to comply with the 55-foot buffer. The site plan meets or exceeds all of the minimum setbacks per our UDO. So this is a close-up of the site plan here. So this is the current parcel. They're proposing the convenience store and restaurant here with the parking. You have a canopy here and a canopy here. And the parcel adjacent that they're seeking to rezone today is where their detention pond will be, their septic system and septic drain field will be to this parcel here. So you have the detention pond. They have the 55-foot transitional buffer with an 8-foot opaque fence, which will be against any residences on this end here. So there will be no lights or buildings down here. That all be concentrated closer to the junction and the road. These are renderings of what they're proposing for the C-store to look like. And the restaurant that they're currently proposing would be a Pizza Hut. So in conclusion, staff is of the opinion that the proposed rezoning to highway commercial may be appropriate. The location being along a state highway is ideal for the CH zoning district, and the proposed use will serve travelers and residents in the surrounding area. The rezoning will also be consistent with the policies and intent in our comp plan. And additionally, the flume category is commercial, which would support this zoning. The Pizza Hut will go into the proposed restaurant space, and there will be limited dine-in and take-out, and there will not be a drive-through at this location. Recommended conditions. Should the petition be approved by the Board of Commissioners, it should be approved highway commercial, conditional, and subject to the owner's agreement to the following enumerated conditions. Where these conditions conflict with the stipulations and offerings contained in the letter of intent, these conditions shall supersede unless specifically stipulated by the Board of Commissioners. 1, to the owner's agreement to the following. A, submit a minor plat to combine parcels 0032-037C and 0032-037E into one tract. B, plans and plats submitted must meet the requirements of the ordinance and regulations and be approved by the Department of Development Services, Public Works, Newton County Fire Services, Environmental Health, the Water Authority, Georgia Soil and Water Conservation, and GDOT as applicable. C, prior to any new uses, all permits shall be obtained as applicable. D, must obtain and maintain a business license as applicable. E, no outside storage allowed on the property and no merchandise allowed to be displayed outside of the building except for an ice machine that is allowed to be situated on the exterior front walk of the building. F, the septic drain field and detention pond are allowed to be within the transitional buffer as long as an 8-foot opaque fence is installed along the eastern property boundary lines. G, the following uses shall not be allowed: a tattoo parlor and vape shop. So we have our surveys of the 2 parcels. This is the current zoning map. So we have the highway commercial, and this is, so they're rezoning them to highway commercial both. The flume is already commercial. This is in the South River watershed, Commissioner District 1. And if there are any questions for staff, if not, Madam Chair, this is a public hearing, and I believe the applicant is here.
At this time, we'll open the floor for the public hearing. Anyone who wishes to speak in favor of the zoning, there will be 10 minutes total.
Good evening. My
My name is Raghu. I'm the owner of Georgia Petrol Operation LLC. I'll be doing this project, and we'll be integrating Pizza Hut in there. And as you see, we're going to work with we're going to create some employment, and we're going to hire some local help, and we're going to run a clean business. We're not going to run any vape shops or anything like that. We're going to be clean cut gas station and food.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
This time we'll open the public hearing. If there's anyone who wishes to speak against this zoning, there'll be 10 minutes total. Do we have anyone that wishes to speak against the zoning? Okay, well, we'll close the public hearings then.
This is in District 1, Madam Chair.
Do we have a motion?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to make a motion to approve REZ 25000010 with staff recommendations.
Okay, do we have a second? All in favor? Oh, wait, excuse me, Commissioner.
Yeah, I have comments. Thank you, Madam Chair. So, just today, we've been through this process since last June, I believe it is. I had some constituents raise some concerns, traffic and the fact that we have within 2 miles on either east and west of this location. I've been to this location several times. That we have a total of 3 gas stations and convenience stores already. I mention this because the constituents only reached out to me today and never during the flume process or any other process or the process of the planning commission. So I say all that to say this: if we're gonna object to projects, objecting to those projects needs to be well out front so I can digest those issues and understand those issues, and maybe present something different to the, or maybe work with the owner to come up with something different. Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to make those comments, make that clear, because I'm going to catch it tomorrow, I'm sure. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
We've already got a second.
Okay, all in favor? All right, thank you. All opposed? Thank you. One opposed. Ms. Applewhite?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Our next petition this evening is a conditional use permit. It is CUP 25-000014. This is also a special events facilities located at 3281 Salem Road. The parent address, so it is within a shopping plaza. So the parent address will be 3249 Salem Road if you were looking for it on QPublic. Tax ID is 0012A142. It is on 6.83 acres. The future land use map is a development node. The zoning is highway commercial, Salem Tier 2 moderate commercial overlay. Watershed is the South River. This is in Commissioner District 2. The owner is Salem Square LLC. Our petitioner is Shondell Allison. And the proposed user intent is to operate a special event facility and to sell alcohol for the consumption on premises. So they're making 2 requests today, to have the special events facility as well as to sell alcohol as the owner of the facility. Just brief history: on January 27, the Planning Commission recommended approval of this petition by a vote of 5-0, and there was no public opposition. The applicable section is section 510-595, special events facility, indoor recreational facilities, commercial. This is included in your packet, so I won't read through them. On our subject side, the existing site is located in the Salem Road Shopping Plaza, which is a total of 6.83 acres. There are various other commercial businesses here. For example, there's a Dollar General, there's a hair store, restaurants, and another special events place. So this is the parcel up here. Just before we get to Old Salem Road, and Kirkland Road is just somewhere right here. The site and floor plan indicated the suite will be used for special events facility. It's approximately 2,333 square feet. There is adequate parking in the shopping plaza for this facility. And per Newton County Fire Services, the occupant load for the suite is 150 people. So this is the suites that they're looking to occupy. There's currently a restaurant right adjacent to it that the applicant also runs. And just the aerial view, it's this suite in here. This is the Dollar General here. And then you have all these other commercial suites, but they're using this one here. This is the floor plan, shows kitchen, bathroom, office, dry food storage, table storage, changing room, and of course the event hall space here. These are just pictures of the suite inside. And just some more of the bathroom and rest areas. So in conclusion, the proposed special events facility is located on a Georgia State route, which allows for easy access to the property. The property is large enough to accommodate ingress and egress, and there is adequate area for parking as it will be shared with other commercial businesses in the plaza. If this use meets the standards as set forth in section 510-595 for special events facility, staff recommends its approval. Recommended conditions. So should this petition be approved by the Board of Commissioners, it should be approved for a conditional use permit for a special events facility and to sell alcohol for consumption on the premises. Conditional and subject to the owner's agreement to the following enumerated conditions. So where these conditions conflict with the stipulations and offerings contained in the letter of intent, these conditions shall supersede unless specifically stipulated by the board. So 1 CUP 25-00014 is to allow for a special events facility and to sell alcohol for consumption on the premises only, and that would be at events. 2, comply with all Newton County fire codes. 3, no fireworks are allowed for any special event. 4, adequate parking shall be provided for guests in the existing parking lot of the plaza. 5, guest occupancy shall be set by Newton County Fire Services. 6, all events are to be conducted inside. 7, must obtain and maintain a Newton County business license and an alcohol license. 8, obtain all permits required from Development Services, Fire Services, Transportation Department, the Water Authority, and Environmental Health as applicable. So we have our zoning map. It's currently zoned highway commercial. This is the entire parcel here with the shopping plaza. The overlay map is Salem Tier 2. The current flume or the future land use map is a development node. Watershed map is the South River. Commissioner District 2. If there are any questions. If not, Madam Chair, this too is a public hearing, and I believe the applicant is here.
At this time, we'll open the floor for the public hearing. All those that are in favor of this zoning, there'll be 10 minutes total.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Shondell Allison. I'm here this evening seeking permission to reopen because it was actually an event center before and it closed, and I saw the opportunity to use it for smaller events and storage because I'm also the owner of Tees Royal Palace that's in the same plaza. I also have the restaurant next door. So I saw the opportunity to use a part of it for storage and the other part for smaller events. So I'm hoping that I'm granted the permission.
Okay, thank you. At this time, we'll close that portion of the public hearing and we'll open the next portion. If there's anyone wishing to speak against the zoning, there'll be 10 minutes total. Okay, we'll close that part of the public hearing then. Do we have a motion?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move that we approve CUP 25-000014 with staff recommendations.
Okay. All right, all in favor? Okay, thank you. Applewhite.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Our next petition this evening is a future land use map amendment, FLU 25-000009. This is located at 498 Rocky Plains Road, tax ID 0049015D. It is 11.03 acres. Future land use map is currently AF, agricultural forestry, and they're seeking to do the proposed future land use map of rural residential. The existing zoning is A, agricultural. The proposed zoning is agricultural residential. Character area is emerging suburban. Watershed is the Yellow River. This is located in Commissioner District 1. The owner and petitioner is Clint Harris. And the proposed use or intent is to amend the flume from AF to RR in order to rezone to agricultural residential. And the intent is to subdivide for a family conveyance. And just a brief history, on February 28, 2025, a driveway permit was issued for the subject property. On May 20th of 2025, a building permit was issued for the subject property to construct a single family residential house. And on 1/27/2026, the Planning Commission recommended approval of petition FLU 25-000009 by a vote of 5-0, and there was no public opposition. As I said, the character areas are emerging suburban, and appropriate land use is rural residential, and appropriate zoning is agricultural residential. This is a concept plan that was shown, that was submitted to us. So they're seeking to subdivide out this tract 2 in front here. The building permit is currently for this tract here. So they wanted to subdivide this out for a family conveyance, which is a 1 acre. And the reason they have to actually do a flume amendment and eventually rezone because it's currently zoned A, and the minimum lot size in A is 10 acres. So they're not able to subdivide as currently is. They have to go to agricultural residential, where the minimum lot size is 1 acre. So that's the reason for them to do the flume amendment and then eventually the rezoning. These are just street view pictures of the front of the parcel from Rocky Plains Road. So the applicant is proposing to amend the flume to rural residential in order to rezone to AR and subdivide for a family conveyance. And pursuant to the emerging suburban character areas appropriate land uses, rural residential is an appropriate land use request. It is also compatible with similar land uses in the immediate surrounding area. So there are no conditions of zoning placed on a future land use map amendment. This is only a planning tool for future requests. Should this request be approved, however, and a petition filed for the rezoning, then that will come before the board at that time, and then recommendations can be made on that petition. And Madam Chair, nope, we're not done, sorry. So we have our survey. So we're looking at this lot here, where the star is. And this is an aerial view of the 11-acre parcel. And they want to subdivide out a lot in front here. Current zoning is A, agricultural. The flume is AF. This is the map they're seeking to change, and they want to go to this light yellow, which is rural residential. It's in the Yellow River watershed, Commissioner District 1, emerging suburban character area. And if there are any questions for staff, if not, Madam Chair, this is a public hearing, and I believe the applicant is here.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Edwards?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So this is the appropriate time, questions for staff, correct?
Yes.
Thank you. So, in changing the flume on this particular parcel, we would never change the flume for the track 2 only, right? The flume, is there a minimum acreage on the flume change?
No, the flume is specific to the parcel that is the subject of it.
Okay. So the reason I ask is the petitioner wants a family conveyance, and we,
Yes, sir.
by all means, that's what we love to see in Newton County. At least I do. Parceling out what the zoning allows for family members, but you know, if the land were to be sold, the remaining 10 acres were to be sold, then with the flume change, you could subdivide it, make a subdivision out of that. Is that correct?
Yes, if the flume is indeed amended and if the rezoning is approved to AR for the entire 11 acres, then they potentially can do 11 lots.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and that's not what this petitioner wants. They just want to give some property or sell some property to a family member or something. Is that is the way I understand this? So to remedy future owners from turning this into a subdivision, we could just change the flume on the 1 acre and the subsequent zoning on the 1 acre, correct?
We could. We have enough acreage to subdivide out the 1 acre, which would be the minimum required for AR zoning, and the 10 remaining acres would meet the requirements for the A zoning.
Okay, so we can change the flume. This is about flume tonight, right?
Yes,
so
sir.
We can change the flume on the 1 acre.
We can. Yes, sir.
Okay. I really like more time to think about it, but I mean, you and I kind of had discussed some of that through email, right? I mean, so, I mean, that's something we can do.
Yes.
Legal, I mean, do you understand what I'm trying to do?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
You just want the 1 acre parcel,
right,
to come out and for everything surrounding it to be.
Yes, I want this owner to be able to do what they're trying to do.
Right.
So I just don't want future owners turning it into a subdivision.
Right.
That's not what we're doing this for. So,
yes.
All right. So I will make a motion, Madam Chair, to amend the flume request to include the track 2 only.
Okay. Do we have
With staff
Okay.
recommendations.
Okay, I think we're gonna have to have the public hearing.
This is a public hearing, yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right, and with that.
Oh, after that. Okay. I'm sorry. Thank you, Madam Chair.
That's fine. Okay, now we'll open the floor for the public hearing. Anyone wishes to speak in favor of this zoning, there'll be a total of 10 minutes.
Thank you all for letting me talk. My name's Clint Harris. I am the owner of that property. Yes, I am trying to take an acre for my elderly mother and my father to come up because they are in the early stages of dementia. So, and I do understand what you were asking, you know, making the land next to us and stuff like that as a kind of more commercial to me, but the valley of that whole entire second area, that's why I didn't buy that one. I moved over is because it's a complete valley. My property drains to it. Also, the 3 and 4 that has been bought already by one person, and I've spoke with them too. They don't plan to build anything but one house. They're retired service members, but yeah, that's what I wanted to just say. I mean, I you know, if it gets approved, thank you. I'm trying just to be able to get my mother and my father up here. You know, they take care of me so long in my life. I'd like to be able to take care of them. So that was what my goal is, and I'm just trying to follow the rules of, you know, Newton County and everything. So I've gone, you know, through a couple mishaps, not knowing everything, and then trying to learn as I was going. So I'm here now and trying to get all the information as much as I can. So I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll close that portion of the public hearing and open the portion if there's anyone that wishes to speak against zoning. There'll be a total of 10 minutes. Okay, seeing none, we'll close that part of the public hearing. Do we have a motion?
Thank you, Madam Chair. At this time, I'd like to make a motion to restrict the flume change to the track 2 only with staff recommendations.
Okay. Do we have a second? Okay. Any discussion? All in favor? Oh, excuse me, Commissioner Edwards.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Now, Shana, I do not believe this precludes the owner in the future for other onesie, twosie lots for other family members to come back and make the same request before us again. Is that correct?
Yes, they would have to come back to amend the flume again.
But he'll be able to do that. This does not preclude him from doing that, correct?
No, it doesn't, sir. They have a right to come before the board.
All right. Thank you, Shana. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay. All in favor? Okay. That's unanimous. Thank you. Ms. Applewhite?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Our next petition this evening is a rezoning. So this case is REZ 25-00011. The companion case was already heard. It's a future land use map of FLU, future land use amendment, FLU 25-000008. The locations are 91 and 100 Edgefield Lane, tax ID 0043-048A and 0043-057. Parcel sizes respectively are 0.55 and 0.51 acres. Future land use map is high density residential, which it was just recently amended back to that. There's no zoning currently. So just a brief background, this property was actually, these two parcels were de-annexed from the city of Covington. And when that happens and they come back into the county, there's no flume, there's no zoning on them. So we have to allocate that zoning. So staff is actually going to be the petitioner tonight for this particular case here. So the flume was already approved to be HDR, which is high density residential. And of course, there is no zoning. We're here to allocate that tonight. We're proposing multifamily residential district, which is in line with the remaining parcels in this subdivision. The character areas live work corridors in the Yellow River watershed, Commissioner District 4. The owner is Stanley's Property LLC. Petitioner is Newton County Development Services. And the proposed user intent is to assign the RMF zoning district to the properties that were de-annexed from the city of Covington. Back in July of 2025, the BOC approved the proposed de-annexation request to de-annex 91 and 100 Edgefield Lane from the city of Covington to Newton County. In August of 2025, the City of Covington Council, they approved the de-annexation request for the same addresses. And in October of 2025, well, the Planning Commission meeting was canceled on that date. It was then held again in December of 2025, where they recommended approval for the flume by a vote of 4-0. So the purpose of that petition was, again, to assign the HDR flume to both properties. There was no public opposition. And then on December 2nd, the Board of Commissioners approved the same flume petition to go to high-density residential. And in January of 2026, the Planning Commission recommended approval of this rezoning petition by a vote of 5-0 for it to go back to RMF. And there was no public opposition. So this is our subject site. These are the two homes that were de-annexed from the city. And they're located in a cul-de-sac off of Edgefield Lane. And the whole street, including the subject lots, they contain multifamily units. This is our aerial here. So these are the two lots at the very end here that now sit with no zoning. And this is just a street view. Character area are appropriate, live, work which accommodates high-density residential. It also accommodates the zoning of RMF. And in conclusion, staff is of the opinion that the proposed rezoning to RMF, which is multifamily residential, may be appropriate based on the similar zonings and uses in the nearby area. The rezoning will be consistent with the policies and intent of the comprehensive plan. Recommended conditions. Should this petition be approved by the Board of Commissioners, it should be approved multifamily residential district, conditional and subject to the owner's agreement to the following enumerated conditions. Where these conditions conflict with the stipulations and offerings contained in the letter of intent, these conditions shall supersede unless specifically stipulated by the board. 1, to the owner's agreement to the following. Construction, subdivision of land, or any type of development shall meet the requirements of Newton County zoning ordinance, the development regulations, and other ordinances and regulations as applicable. So this is the survey that is existing. So this line here shows where the city's boundary was. So they've now returned these properties back to the county. This line here shows where the city boundary is. And there you see it going through the property again. This is our zoning map. So RMF, the rest of the subdivision is in multifamily, and there's no zoning on these. So it would be compatible to just put them into the same zoning. The flume is HDR. This was already approved. Watershed is Yellow River. This is in Commissioner District 4. This is just a live, work, character area map. And is there any questions for staff? And we are the petitioner technically. And this is a public hearing too, Madam Chair. If there's anyone else who'd like to speak in favor of or against. This is a public hearing. And we're the applicant.
At this time, we'll open the public hearing. There'll be 10 minutes total. Anyone who wishes to speak in favor of this zoning. We'll close that part and open the second part of the public hearing. If there's anyone that wishes to speak against the zoning, there'll be 10 minutes total. Okay, hearing none, we'll close that part.
This is in District 4.
Do we have, you've got a question, Commissioner Henderson?
No, ma'am. I was prepared to make a motion.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the de-annexation of this property to the county with staff recommendations.
Okay, we have a motion and a second.
Madam Chair. Go ahead.
All in favor?
Oh, sorry, just before, do you want to, Commissioner Henderson, could you clarify your motion, please, as it pertains to the rezoning?
I was thinking basically the rezoning was to go with staff recommendation.
Yes. Yes, but I think you just misspoke as far as the approving de-annexation. So we just want to make it clear for the record. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, all right. All in favor? Okay, thank you. That's unanimous.
Thank you, Madam Chair. That is the end of our zoning tonight.
Thank you. We appreciate that. Well, that's the end of the zoning agendas. Now, item 22 would be the public comments. This time is to allow the public to comment on open topics. Each speaker is allowed 3 minutes. Do we have anyone that would like to speak?
Good evening, Denise Williams, Newton County resident. It's 2 things I want to speak about. The first thing I want to speak about is during the zoning hearings. I guess this would be for you, legal. On the OTC 25-002, it was 7 minutes remaining for the applicant to come back and rebuttal with the people that was in disagreement that was opposing the development, and they was trying to yield from the floor that they had something to say. So I don't know if y'all didn't see it, but because they spoke something about the owner, and the owner was here trying to speak on the record. And also, what Brian Fazio passed out, this was per our conversation, County Manager James Brown at the last meeting. We spoke about on Fairview Road, the Fairview corridor, about the commissioners had voted, and once they vote, they can't go back and revisit that. Where this right here confirms that it was never voted on in public. So it has never been voted on in public by the commissioners. I'm asking the board to go back and revisit their plot of land on Fairview corridor, and that is in line with what the comprehensive plan for the Parks and Rec. So I'm asking this board to please go back and revisit it, because it already has been study done on it, and appraisal was done, and it was paid. So we don't need to continue to keep getting appraisals from different places when we already have gotten our appraisal on that property. Thank you.
All right.
Good evening, Honorable Board. On behalf of President Barbara Collins, I am Elena Sanders, Chair.
And I'm Terry Webb, Co-Chair.
We are members of the Social Action Committee of the Covington Area Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. We came out today in solidarity to activate civic engagement. We are intentionally called today Social Action Day at the Board of Commissioners. Our presence here is purposeful. We want residents throughout the service area to understand that local government is important. The decisions made at this level impact our daily lives, our families, our neighbors, and our future. Civic engagement is not optional. It is a responsibility we all share. Today is about encouragement to stay informed, to stay updated, to ask questions, and to activate participants in the process. When communities are engaged, they are stronger. When residents are involved, the government works better.
Our chapter proudly serves both Newton County and Walton County, and we believe it is important to be present, visible, and engaged in the communities we serve. We also want to thank you for the work that you do for taking the time and stepping up and serve. Public service requires dedication, accountability, and commitment, and we truly appreciate your willingness to lead. At this time, I would like to acknowledge the members of the Covington Alumni Chapter who are present with us today and ask that they please stand so we may be recognized.
Okay.
Thank you. We look forward to continuing to show up, supporting community-focused efforts, and building a strong relationship between the Board of Commissioners of Newton County as we work together to serve our community. Thank you again for your time and for your service. Thank you.
Thank you.
I just have one statement about the benches. I see my sisters out there squirming on those hard benches. I am going to reiterate that again, that if y'all can look at that and maybe work on the comfortability of the constituents. Thank you.
Good evening, Board, Chair.
Good evening.
Maya, Newton County resident. I again want to reiterate that we need to revisit the West Side Youth Facility. The funds are available, but I really came up here to talk about the UDO and the fact that it expires on August the 19th, 2026. And there are things that still need to be done. There are a couple of phases that I identified, and that's for phase one would be the foundational work, where we finalize, the BOC formally decides what type of developments are allowed again, where they're allowed, and what capacity, infrastructure, and impact limits. Second, we need to complete a technical study, and that should be done by the county manager and staff. Staff must complete and publish water and sewer capacity analysis, traffic roadway impact thresholds, school impact coordination framework, fire EMS service radius, and response standards. That's all a part of phase 1. Phase 2, drafting and legalization. At minimum, the county needs UDO amendments, overlay districts, concurrency ordinances, phasing and vesting results. Phase 3, public process and adoption. That's most important to the constituents that you all represent. The deadline for that should be around July, given the deadline is August. You need to hold advertised public hearings, clearly explain what replaces the moratorium, what protections are permanent, and what is still restricted. What we should not do is wait until summer 26 to start drafting, letting staff study without direction, ending moratorium without enforceable ordinances, adopting vague policies that can't be enforced, allowing a flood of applications during that transition window. A simple way to see this is the moratorium was a pause. The ordinance are the protection. And we have no idea where you guys are at with that today. And we have approximately 7 months. Let the people know where you're at. On your site, it just says in progress. What type of progress has been made thus far? What is your ETA plan to get us where we need to be before the deadline comes? Thank you.
Dennis Taylor, District 1 and 5. I listen to all the comments, citizen comments, commissioner comments I have for years. There was a comment made, and this is positive, by a commissioner, I believe two budget cycles ago. We asked a young lady from the Chamber of Commerce about infrastructure and quality of life. To me, those are two most important things for this board next 2 to 3 years. There's no doubt about it. And the second district commissioner wanted to ask that question in that hearing. And I hope everybody's worrying about infrastructure and quality of life. We're building tight. Our state highways can't handle the traffic. And I know that's not y'all's, but you should have a liaison with the state, with the district Atlanta people. Just simple turn lane at 36 and County Road 213 would do wonders. Just a simple turn lane. You driving there, you stopping, looking through your rear view mirror, hoping you don't get nailed in the back. And the same thing up on 81 at Duncan Road, Macedonia Church Road, Ellington Road. And there's other places all over the county. And I know they're state highways, y'all don't budget the money, but we pay so much money. This is a big county with a lot of people, a lot of construction, a lot of building going on. We send a lot of money to Atlanta, Georgia. And we need to get it back, some of it back. And I just hope that y'all will work. I hate to use the word lobby, but lobby the state to get some of that money. Because we could really do wonders on 81 and 36 and there's other areas. And fixing that terrible roundabout on 212 and 36. It's not going to fix it by taking out lanes. You got to make it bigger, like 278. Those on 278. It's like a four-way stop now. A bus or a truck gets in it, everything stops. It's a four-way stop in a circle. And hopefully they'll fix it one day. Thank you.
My name is Maddie Goggins. I'm from Nelson Heights. I want to thank each and every one of y'all for the
construction and everything you all did out there to our community building. But to my knowledge and everything is nice, and I appreciate everything you all did. But I would like a itemized copy of each and every thing that was done out there. And they said it was $100,000 that was $1 million that was spent out there, which we don't see it. But I still would like an itemized copy of everything that was done and spent. Because the things that we asked for, we got partial. We didn't get what we asked for. It's just partial. And that's all I'm asking. It's just for a copy of it. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Natravius Smith, address 6150 Water Oak Circle, Covington, Georgia 30014. I just had two things as a concerned citizen sitting in the stands back here. One going hand in hand with what Ms. Denise said, with citizens not knowing that they're able to retain time after they get up here and speak, because I think it kind of messes up the flow of the meeting when someone comes up here and fights for what they want, and then someone comes behind them and just slanders it. I think it also, a lot of situations that were mentioned here, I've sat in the middle of, and I think it should be a time and a place for people to come up here and ask questions. I think to email a commissioner and have to wait 3 days, or to email a commissioner and have to wait when you can come in and ask a question about why a decision was made, or why you sided one way or why you sided the other, just cuts out a lot of things that we don't have to do. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. If that's all the citizens' comments, then we'll close this portion of the meeting and we'll go to our board comments. Commissioner Edwards.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I will be brief. First of all, I'd like to echo the comments of our county manager and some of the other commissioners about not only our public works, our facilities people, our sheriff's department, our fire department, our partners in the city of Covington, Mansfield, Newbern, Oxford, and Porterdale. Over the last 2 weekends, really, you got to see your tax dollars at work. I mean, literally. So I stopped in the EOC couple, 3 times to try and catch a donut, and I never timed it to where I ever got a donut over there. But the people were hard at work. They were planning. They were collaborating as an entire community, and I believe they should be recognized here at a meeting very soon. Number 2, somebody just mentioned, I think it was Mr. Taylor mentioned 212 and 36. I have asked the state DOT district, I guess you call him a commissioner, DOT commissioner, to take a look at that intersection, and that is currently being evaluated along with Chester, I believe. And my apologies. Lastly, I have an apology. Commissioner Henderson, I did not make it to the Nelson Heights Community Center because the owner of my company popped in town that day. So I was indisposed, but congratulations on that community center. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Mason.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to bring up a couple of state bills that are basically very, very important to our residents. As the chair of the Revenue and Finance Committee through the Association of County Commissioners of Georgia, I get an opportunity every Monday to sit on the Policy Council meeting and hear a lot of these bills that are coming forward. One was House Bill 1036. It's a referendum to dissolve HOAs. This bill gives homeowners living in an HOA or POA govern communities the right to force a binding referendum to decide whether their association should continue to exist. It also limits an association's power by prohibiting foreclosure or forced sale of owner-occupied homes for unpaid dues or fines. So that is one that it's kind of hot within our state legislators. Also, House Bill 1019, our senior rent increase cap. This legislation prohibits landlords from increasing rent for tenants over 62 years old. That's definitely something that we've done our best to try to address here. So it's good to hear that the state legislators are looking at that as well. Also, House Resolution 1104 creates a new sales and use tax for property tax relief. This bill proposes an amendment to the Georgia Constitution, authorizing counties or consolidated governments to impose a new sales and use tax to provide property tax relief. Property tax relief is something that we've tried to do our best to work on. I know my committee, we submitted some property tax relief suggestions and recommendations. And so hopefully our state legislators will be looking at how we can find creative ways to provide property tax relief as well. And then the last one is House Bill 1059. It's the data center moratorium from 2026 to 2028. This legislation imposes a moratorium on the construction of data centers from July 1st, 2026 to December 31st, 2028. It also establishes the Data Center Impact Assessment Commission to study the impacts of data center development and to develop recommendations for a statewide zoning ordinance or a model local ordinance. So that's a bill that could potentially, or something that we've been dealing with in our county as well. So I wanted to put those four out there because I know these are topics that we've dealt with here in our community. So I just wanted to encourage our residents, if you get an opportunity, you can just go and look up House bills or Senate bills, just Google it, and you can actually look up those different bills. I'm also probably going to try to put that out there on my social media as well so that people can kind of see what these bills are, and I'll try to give everybody an updated status on where they are. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First of all, Commissioners, I want to apologize not making that. I was kind of tied up myself, and like I say, congratulations. I'm deeply rooted. I was actually born in Nelson Heights and raised up in Grand Acre, so I just want to say congratulations on that.
Thank you. Commissioner Henderson.
Well, since I can just talk a little bit about it, Madam Chair, it was a great day for my constituents in the citizens of Newton County. As I had said while I was there, that it shouldn't have took 3 years to do some work on a community center that in a community where kids just really need the help. You got to step up to the plate. And I just want to add this, and I ain't gonna talk too long because I think everybody ready to go home, myself included. When we talk about taxes, yes, we can depend on somebody from the state or ACCG to offer something up to us. And believe me, I went to ACCG about 20 years. And but it's what we can do right here at home. There was no reason to be a tax increase. There was no reason for the older ladies to come up here and say, well, get y'all go down on my taxes. If you would go down on my taxes, so I won't be put out of my home. So, but I'm gonna get with the county manager, and we're gonna have a town hall meeting in District 4, maybe it's Spring Hill, maybe in Nelson Heights, maybe at RL Cousins, and we're gonna talk about the data centers. We're gonna talk about our taxes and what we can do as a community, working together with the Board of Commissioners, make those a thing of the past. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Long.
I'm good. I'm not feeling good. So thank y'all for all the support for District 5 that y'all give me.
Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn? Second. All in favor? Thank you all for coming.